cause I'm flagrant. Tap myself and the phone in the basement. My team supreme, stay clean. Triple B, lyrical dream. I be that. Catch your seat at all events bent. Gats and holsters, girls on shoulders. Playboy, I told ya, me and Mike's to me. Lose too much, I lose too much. Step on stage, the girls do too much. I guess it's cause the people lame do too much. Me lose my touch, never that. If I did, ain't no problem to get the gap. Where the true players at? Throw your rollies in the sky, wave from side to side, and keep your hands high while I give your girl an eye. Play it please, lyrically, you can see B.I.G.B. for Flossin', jig on the cover of Fortune, 5 double O. Here's my phone number, your man, they got the know, I got the dough, got the flow down, Zach, platinum plus, like Zach, dangerous on Trizak, leave your ass frizzak.
Hello, everybody. Glad to have you here today with the one and only Adam of VibraFinance. Adam, how you doing tonight?
Doing great, bro. Super excited to be here. Been a long time watcher of your channel, huge supporter. You're one of the best out there. So, man, I'm just humbled to be here with you. I can't wait to get into some good stuff.
I appreciate it, brother. I really, really do. And you know what? I'm humbled to have you here as well. You have great content on your channel, killing it with the live streams. And one of the topics that has been brought to my attention lately, especially, is Max, you talk a lot about the whole thing of long term. We need some short term, and I couldn't agree more. So Adam does it better than anybody I know out there when it comes to a lot of these particular plays, especially on the short term, because let's face it, we do need some things on the short term. So we're going to be introducing, or I should say he will be, and I'll, give my own little 2 cents as well, but he definitely is the star of the show. He's going to bring you guys some great info in regards to Titan X. And we're also going to talk about, for example, Qubic. Shout out to Darius Magruder. Been telling me about this thing for a while now. And I kept hearing Adam talk about on his channel. And I said to myself, all right, I see you. I hear you. We need to get in a little bit about this and so on. So we're going to address all the concerns people have, the good, the bad, the ugly. And then on top of that, how about CPOOL, ClearPool up over 1,000% on the year. Wow, killing it. So we're going to address some of that as well. As you guys know, ClearPool was the first cryptocurrency project I ever covered. Did over about 50 videos on it. So really nice to get back into that and share that. Shout out to all the fellow pool siders out there. Some recent developments to get into. So smash that like if you haven't done so already. We're going to welcome some of you guys. I'm going to just kind of highlight a few key ones. If you had your comment disappear, I apologize for that. We have Dark to Light. It says, hello, welcome friends. Welcome to you. Glad to have you over on X. Tim Shea, Mayor Crypto Commissioner in the house. Jack Thompson, just kind of going rapid fire through some of these. Jim Miller, Mobius, thank you guys. You guys rock. Really appreciate seeing you guys here. Crypto Homes, 777, Fox Mulder, Party Pete, DJ. Hey man, I recognize you. Welcome back from Plano, Texas. Kenneth Robinson, good to see you, brother. Welcome back. One of the benefits of watching the live show, by the way, guys, and this is no me picking on you, Kenneth, is you don't get no ads. All right, so the only time you're going to get ads is after it's the replay, but on the live show there's no ads, so which is pretty cool. Obviously follow VibraFinance over on his platform on both YouTube and X. We're going to pull that up here in a little bit. Paul, welcome back. Glad to see you. River in the house. And Corey Bebe in the house. Let's see here. GS in the house. Glad to have you guys here. If I skipped over anybody, it was not on, intentionally. Gerald Briggs is back in the house. We also have Toma. I might not be pronouncing it right. And nonetheless, I think we're going to jump into it here in just a brief moment. So what we're going to do first is we're going to give Adam a plug to his channel. Let's just pull this up for just a brief moment. Here is his channel. Like I said, you can follow him on YouTube and X. And we'll go ahead and full screen this. So as you see right here, he can be followed over at VibraFinance. And basically speaking, as far as videos, you focus mainly, I know, on live shows. So on your live show, you got some of that Titan X, Pulse Chain, also Morpheus. Is there anything else coming up on your live show that you would like to put some emphasis on before we get into the material?
Honestly, I really cover a wide range of stuff, and I really hammered home the utility coins, the flares, Stellar, Stronghold, Velo, ClearPool, Jasby, all the stuff that you cover, Quant. So what I've noticed is back in 2020, when I started finding all this stuff, I never would have imagined we'd be where we are today. I thought for sure we would have been further along. So that tells me that these technologies, it's going to take a lot longer than we thought to kind of implement them and use them at scale. So I think it's is out of our position. None of us can do anything. We have our bags, and it's almost like a waiting game. So that's great, because I know when you do the right research and you position yourself correctly, it is only a matter of time what's coming. And Max is pretty much, with all his presentations, laid out the future of digital banking, how money's going to move around the world, who's going to be at the core of it. But I want this crypto, the opportunities are once in a lifetime, and they come and they go so fast. So when you only have so much time in the day to focus your energy on stuff. So it's impossible to cover everything. And what I like to do for my followers is the stuff that I research and that stands out to me, and the stuff that I own and I participate in. I like to just share my experience, show people what has been super successful, what hasn't worked out. So I want people to learn, not make the same mistakes. But ultimately, when you're here every day and you're constantly learning and doing research, you just see things that other people don't, who have full-time jobs. They come and they check out a stream, they scroll through Twitter, but you don't see the behind the scenes, all the stuff that's going on. And when you consume hundreds and thousands of hours of content and research, it just becomes obvious to you. So the coins and the projects that, to me, like Quant and Stellar and Ripple, that are going to be here, I feel just as confident in the Titan X ecosystem, in Qubic, and some of these other plays that are going to pay off a lot more, I think, in the short term, where you don't have to almost rely on these other companies implementing their stuff, relying on regulations, all this stuff, the amendments on the XRP ledger. It's preventing the price from going up. So we've been able to find a couple ecosystems, especially in DeFi, where it removes all the middlemen, removes all of TradFi, and it's just you and the code, and you can do whatever you want. And when DeFi is done correctly, the opportunities out here are unlike anything I've seen. And we're all going to become our own banks in the near future. Apps like Bank Social, where they're going to custody your assets, they'll be insured. So we're not all just sitting ducks, hiding our ledgers, making 6 copies of them, faking your identity. That's crazy. This is technology. We want it to be simple. So I just like to share the stuff that comes across my radar that just makes me say, wow, this is absolutely incredible. And whether it's a Titan X or a Qubic or a Stronghold or a Jasmy or a Velo, I share them all, and I have no bias. I'm just here. I'm a fan of everything. And yeah, I just try to share what stands out to me.
Yeah, a lot of things stand out. Adam and I were having a conversation just briefly before the show started, and that was, even I myself, if it wasn't for like Doge and Shiba Inu, yeah, those are meme coins, but I wouldn't even be here with you guys if it wasn't for that. And I think, if anything, yeah, you heard me say it. It's like there's some people, and I'm not gonna say who they are, but you guys see it yourself. There is what they call utility snobs, right? And I think, if anything, it's like, recognize there's long-term investments, there's short-term investments. I'm not going to come on a live stream with you guys, or do a recorded video, or do a collaboration with, Adam of VibraFinance or whoever, and act like, I am too good to cover some of these other things if it's something solid and trustworthy. So, actually, probably within the next few days or so, I'm actually going to introduce some things. And it did pass like 100% on the token sniffer. So, I did my own little due diligence, but that's beside the point. The other thing I want to get into is X. So, as you can see right here, you can be followed over on the X platform, formerly known as Twitter. I don't even know if anybody calls it Twitter anymore, but anyway, VibraFinance, as you can see, at VibraFinance. So again, give them a follow. before we get more into that, I just saw a few other people filter in. I would definitely want to give a highlight and props to this guy, Learn and Evolve, aka Darius Magruder. He told me about Qubic a long time ago, as he pointed out. And you guys got to keep in mind, I mean, a lot of times you will share like a project with me, and it's not like it's just letting it go, over my head. It's just there's only so much time in a day. There's only so many things to cover. I consistently cover probably about 10 to, I don't know, 12 particular projects and so on. So again, Adam talking a lot about Qubic. So we're going to get into that as well. But I just want to give you some props on that. Learn and Evolve. Give him a follow on his channel as well. I know that you're trying to put out some content. Landy Flowers, welcome. And just again, welcome some of you guys like Messy, Leo, Dark to Light. All right, cool. Stump Rider in the house, Mr. Lambos. You guys rock. All right, so what we're going to do now, I think somebody's giving you props. Stingy Bayberry. Good evening to you, Adam. All right. And then we also have G Dragon X. I'm pretty sure you're pretty familiar with him. He says Titan X, all this stuff. So always welcome people from the community. And XXI Gaming in the house. Brandon, good to see you, brother. We got a super chat from Elon Muff, aka Mike Cornwell in the house. Yeah, best name all crypto, right? 99
It is, bro.
It is, ain't it? It is. You can admit it. It's all right. Elon Muff. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Mike. I know you're out there with the trick-or-treaters and the kids and stuff, so that's cool. Yeah, what we're going to do now is we're just going to pull off some of the stuff on the screen. Adam, I know that you got some things you want to share. You have that thing you want me to pull that up? I guess.
There we go.
I will go ahead and do that. Excuse me. So Titan X, we're going to share some things from Adam. I have a little bit that I want to get into as well, but by all means, sir, take it away. Titan X, what stands out about it for you? And if you're new to this, guys, listen, have open mind. Listen to what Adam has. He is terrific when it comes to this. So to you, sir.
Appreciate it. And so I just wanted to point out one thing that you said is, you're only one person. People send you stuff all the time to look at, and you can only do so much in one day. And for me, what I found is like surrounding yourself and networking with people is your net worth. Because if you can surround yourself with people like Goo God, I'm sure he might be in here in the chat, and guys like that who will share anything with you. They're here to help out, and when they get alpha, they'll send it your way. And when you can start building relationships with people in the space that when they send you something and say, hey man, check this project out, you don't even really need to do research. You just get into it right away because that person is solid. They're never going to steer you wrong. And if they truly believe in it, then it's something to probably get into. And regardless if the project goes up or down, the person's not lying. They're giving you their honest opinion, their truth, and they're trying to save you the time of having to go do this research when you're going to come to the same conclusion in 6 hours. But yeah, it's good to understand stuff, but if you don't have time, you're going to get to it in a week, and the coin pumps up a little bit. Like it's great to have people that you can trust that send you a project and you don't have to go vet it. You can kind of just YOLO into it and, not really worry about it. So that's one thing that I really value is the people that I've met in this space and develop relationships with, and they're all over in all different communities. And just when you help other people out, it comes back your way. And that's one thing I really value is not burning any bridges, always trying to make relationships with people. And, when you're that way, good things just come around. And I'm blessed to be in that position. And with Titan X, this is one where the founder, Jake Sharp is his name. And I started in Chainlink in 2018, got destroyed at the top, said, screw crypto, came back into the XRP army, drank the Kool-Aid. I was marching around in the army, thinking we're the light switch, looking for the light switch that never flipped. And, so I've been all around, and finally I found Hex, I found Pulse Chain and Richard Hart, and just real DeFi where you're not relying on these other people. You can go do stuff yourself and take crypto into your own hands. And that's where we're all going with this space inevitably. So to get used to, DeFi protocols, and even with, with the stuff we use with the Zaman wallet and the Lobster wallet or some of the Stellar wallets, like that's what we need to be doing is cutting out the middlemen. And that's what with Titan X, Jake here, he is a smart guy, and he looked around and said what works right now in 2023, what's successful in DeFi. So he took a little bit of Pulse Chain, a little bit of a project called Zen that you could just mint with ETH gas, and in the future, the longer you did it, the more coins you collected. Kind of like an experiment to just bring new people into crypto. He learned from that. On Pulse Chain, if you guys aren't familiar with it, it's a fork of Ethereum. But what's unique about it is the liquidity, providing the liquidity pools and the R bots. They're unlike anything I've ever seen. And you could take an asset, even if it was XRP, and you could pair it up with 100 different coins over there. And because each pairing is going to have a different price, the bots come through and nibble on them. So there's tokens coming out that are these reflection tokens where there's a 2% tax on each transaction. So the bots come through, they pay the tax, and that money goes to buying and burning the coin or buying and adding to the liquidity pools. So every time a bot comes through and scalps or makes a little bit, a tiny bit goes to adding to liquidity. And it's all burnt, and they're all renounced contracts, so no one can ever touch them. So it's just the next level of doing DeFi that's coming around. So what Jake did is learn from all the stuff that was popular, what was successful, and he launched Titan X, and it came out last year. And how it worked was on day one, I think it was August or October 28th. It was almost, yeah, that's right, because the 1 year anniversary was a couple days ago. So what you had to do is you came in on day one and you took 0.2 ETH, and you could do as much of a miner as you wanted. You could do a length of 280 days max, or you could do a 1 day miner. And at the beginning, they were super profitable. So if you did a 5-day miner, you would claim your Titan X and you could swap back and profit 0.1 ETH on a week miner. So people were really making money. It was going well. But the key to it is every time you took some of that ETH and minted Titan X, 68% goes to this buy and burn wallet. So right now, in this wallet here has $11.2 million. There's 4,400 ETH that are sitting in this wallet that are going to be used for the next 2-3 years to just buy and burn Titan X off the open market. And it's programmed every half an hour to consistently do that. And that they can be adjusted right now. It's going to be changed in the future, but until all the supply is out, it's being held down because the project's doing so well. You don't need to waste any of that. So this Titan X now basically has at this price $11 million in buy pressure. If ETH goes up 50%, this now turns into 16 or 17 million dollars of buy pressure. And there was a V2 pool that had millions too, but it's been used, and now we're down to the V1 pool. But every time somebody comes and creates a new miner, and right now the thing is it costs more ETH and you get less Titan X. So back when I did it on day one, 0.2 ETH got you 2.5 billion coins. Now 0.26 gets you barely 400 million. So in another year or so, it's going to be 0.4 ETH gets you 50 million coins. So the buy and burn is going to consistently being fed as long as it's profitable to mine. And it becomes profitable to mine when the price of Titan X falls to a certain level. But the crazy thing is all the inflation came out on day 280. There was like 30 trillion coins that came out in a 4-day period, and the price went up. It marked the bottom somehow. So when every single person, all of us influencers, streamers, guys in the community said the price has to go down when all this inflation comes out, it didn't. It went up. And a big reason of that is its sister project, Dragon X, which with Dragon X, it's the same thing. You take your ETH and you put it in, and it's basically a copy of Titan X. But the whole point was to have a huge liquidity pool with Titan X and Dragon X. That's the main pair. So right now in this, the main pool has almost $13 million in liquidity. And every single time somebody comes in and does a miner of Titan X or Dragon X, more money is being sent to all these projects, or I mean, to these pools. And also with Titan X, when you did a miner or created a miner, 8% of the ETH went to future development of the ecosystem. So now that's been collected, and there's now 20 projects that have came and built on top of Titan X and Dragon X, and all of them are burning both coins. They're the two core coins. So they're now becoming hyper deflationary. And the crazy thing is, so right now, if you say market bought some Titan X, and one of the other projects here is Hydra. This is another project that came out on top. All the code is all audited. Everything is double audited. I mean, and all the projects are vetted by the community. They're not put up on the main Titan page, where the Titan X Hub. This lists all the projects that have been launched, and these are the upcoming 20 projects now that are going to be coming out and buying and burning Titan X and Dragon X. So the craziest thing is about Titan X is you could see that this is Dune Analytics is a great site. It shows the supply. So back in the day when it first started, people did some short-term miners, and then it became extremely profitable. So they started cranking them up. So you could see like every day, 2 trillion came out here, $1 trillion a day was coming out. And then this past summer, you had 30 trillion come out within a 4-day period, but the price went up somehow from there. That marked the bottom, which blew everyone's mind. And now we're all the way to almost November, and the amount coming out after November 15th is like 100 billion a day, which is absolutely nothing. So the 13 or $12 million in the Titan X buy and burn is going to just be that much more impactful when the supply is drastically less, because the protocols that come out, you have to use Titan X to get into them, and they're super profitable. So right now there's only 19% of all Titan X is liquid. There's a bunch that's staked, there's all that, and then 35% is been bought and burnt, and only 3% of that volume from the buy and burn is coming from the actual ETH in the pool. It's coming from other protocols that are doing a majority of it. So when this thing gets turned on, it's going to just be absolutely insane. And the craziest thing is like holding Titan X, even though the price is doing phenomenal, it's gone up like 8x since the bottom. You make more money doing these other miners. So Hydra, for example, is one of the projects or protocols. I came in, and you can do miners as long as you want, up to 88 days. And, you could do an 8-day miner, but they're not profitable right now. So I just did like a 40-day miner a couple days ago. I did a 44-day, and it's at 40%. But my long-term ones that I did a month or two ago are at 171%. So it's incredible for a 3-month window. I've never seen anything like this. And Hydra is one of the older protocols. The newest stuff that's came out, Lotus is the newest one, and everyone keeps learning from the last project that came out, how to set up a better liquidity pool, how to do a better buy and burn, how to structure it so it's front loaded, how to structure it so there's a long buy and burn. They've gotten super creative with these different protocols. So Lotus has only been out for, I think a week, maybe 8 days. And this thing has just gone straight up and to the right. I mean, it's done like 150x already. So it's going to come back down. But the short-term miners right now, I did a couple of them, and they are literally printing insane numbers. A 5-day miner that I started today is at 508%. So even if the price drops 80%, it's still profitable. The coin has to literally crash to zero for you to not break even. And the long-term ones right now are at just ridiculous ROIs, 30,000%. And I know that's not sustainable. It's not going to stay that high because it's new. People's coins are going to start coming out in the next 2 weeks. But what they did to offset that is they created staking on here with absolutely ridiculous payouts. Every 8 days, there's a payout for staking. So you can come in, there's an 8-day payout, a 48-day, a 88, a bi-weekly payout. So they're incentivizing people, instead of claiming their miners and selling them back for that profit, it's actually more profitable to roll it into staking. And that keeps the price up and keeps more people mining. And the people that are behind these projects are just these incredibly smart people that couldn't find the right community. They were around the wrong people. They were taking advice from someone that was trying to leech off of them. And when you have all these people coming together, it's just absolutely beautiful. And and then the most recent thing to come out is the Titan Farm. So this now incentivizes whales to come in here and throw their huge bags into LP pools and earn the rewards coin. So
Yeah,
this
talk
is
a little bit more about that because sorry, Adam, I'm gonna cut you off, but
no.
talk a little bit more about that in regards to that, because when I see, like, for example, the buy and burn, and I see, for example, the user burn is very small, but that tells me that, compare this to like other projects where they put a lot of emphasis on user burns, and you see the community getting upset like there's not enough burns. But then you mentioned the whole thing about like whales coming in. So is there a lot of, or any example about whale activity in regards to the buy and burns? That's something I want to ask you.
Well, not the whale. It doesn't really affect the whales that are coming into the buy and burns for Titan X and Dragon X, because there's so much money that's in there right now. It's going to just be a consistent. It consistently goes all day, every day. So when it gets cranked up, nobody really knows. And when it gets finalized, what the rate's going to be, the contract's going to be renounced. So it's going to just go automatically. No one's going to be able to control it. So what the incentivization for the whales right now are these insanely juicy farms right here that are at hundreds of percent. And I'm shocked because these have been out for a couple weeks now. And normally they come down to like single digits, but these have all been extremely juicy for people that want to do yield farming and earn a token for that. So you're not having to sell any of these coins. You can sell the rewards for it instead of putting more sell pressure on the actual coin. But so Morpheus, this was the project that I was helping my friend Rags to Riches. He's another incredible guy. Max, you would love him. You get it. He's just an awesome guy. Helped him launch this, and it came out on the 28th. And you mint 1-to-1 with Titan X, and we have almost 1.8 trillion Morpheus that have been minted. So how this works is it's 1-to-1. You take a Titan X, you mint your Morpheus, and every day it gets a 4% decay rate. So right now, instead of 1-to-1 on day one, it's 1 to 0.88. So what's crazy about this is what we decided to do. Instead of all the money going straight to the buy and burns, we took 10% of the Titan X, put it into a wallet, and 10 people are going to get picked in a raffle to win 10% of that. So right now, someone came in today and minted 1,000 tickets. I mean, 100 billion Titan X they put in here to get 1,000 tickets. So they now have the best odds of getting 18.2 billion X. So for a whale coming in here, you're playing the lottery. You're playing a free lottery with pretty much no risk, because if you don't win the lottery, you just hold your tokens and you'll be able to get your Titan X back in, a couple weeks, maybe a month at the most. So there's some really cool game theory here. And like with these guys, it's kind of like a bragging contest, and who's the biggest whale, who's got the most tickets. So for someone to come in on day 3 and do this was absolutely wild to see. So this is the latest project that's on Titan X. And this is a little bit different than the other stuff that's came out. So what's different about Morpheus is it's more long-term. So the buy and burn in here is set to go for 500 days. So I think there's there's 1.25 trillion Titan X, 260, or no, how much is it? I don't know the USD amount, but 1.25 trillion is in the buy and burn. So over 500 days, I think that's like, I want to say a million, 1.3 million. So if Titan X goes up 5 to 10x, there's going to be over $10 million in that buy and burn for the next 500 days. And what's the kicker for Morpheus is a DEX aggregator is being built on top. So when Titan X goes omni-chain with X28 that the founder Jake is launching to bring Titan X to any blockchain and new projects launching anywhere, this DEX aggregator is going to follow it along and get you a better price, cheaper price than Uniswap. So all the fees that instead of them going to Uniswap and getting extracted from the community, every single swap fee now can be taken and given back to buy and burn our own coins. So there's just so many unique things that are being done here that have never been seen before. And it just keeps getting better and better. And we're used to this just, you know, 500 billion to a trillion coins coming out every day because of the miners, but all these new projects are just gobbling them up. You know, there's a Element 280 is another project, and this one is unique because it has NFTs. So you can either mint your NFT with ETH or with Titan X. And at any point, you can swap your NFT for liquid tokens, the E280 token or the Element token. And the Element token pumped hard. So thousands of people burnt their NFTs because there was like a $300 arbitrage. So they could go burn their NFT, mint the tokens, buy back 1.1 billion Titan X, have a profit, and mint another NFT. And they're doing it over and over. And this protocol has brought in 10 trillion Titan X. And it's still open for another 8 days. You can mint these NFTs. So I minted like 3 of the common ones and a couple rare ones. I wish I could do more, but these things have paid me hundreds of dollars. The first NFT I bought with ETH, it was like $1,300. And the first 2 weeks alone, it's paid me back $240 in rewards. And that's at the coin at rock bottom. Once the NFTs are done minting, the supply of and the coins are going to be out. It's going to start to grow in price. So the rewards I get back every month are going to be even higher. So I'm going to get all my money back within like 3 to 4 months on an NFT that'll be able to hold forever and generate passive income. So like I really stress to my followers, you have to zoom out and treat crypto like an 8-year retirement window where you could take a half a year of your salary and make 25 years of salary if you do it right over 2 cycles and not try to just freak out and just chase every single coin or meme coin or pump. If you could come up with a plan and it's been pretty much proven in all of these different protocols here. If you just get into them on day one, get in early and just hold, all of them are up tons of X's. And it really is, it's the perfect blueprint for everybody to win. And I've never seen anything like it. It really is special. It's unique. The founder is so smart with stuff he does. He's super engaged with every single project. He's always on Twitter, liking people's posts, and you just don't see that from other founders. So this is just special. And we're about to go into hyper deflation as incredible protocols keep launching on top. And there's so many different things. If you like NFTs, if you want to create miners on Hydra or Lotus, they are just printing. And I just never seen anything like it, man. It's so cool to see and just be a part of, because I know this is going to change DeFi moving forward. All the money extraction and inflating coins, it's going to be a thing of the past.
Yeah, when you were talking about short term, I mean, you weren't kidding. I mean, you know, like I've contributed to you know, farms. It was like it was a what was it? Oh, this was such a garbage token back in the day, but Klekai. It was like Klekai with a SHIB parrot. And they wanted me to commit to like, you know, like a 1 full year, for crying out loud. And you're giving me examples of, you know, like turning,
Yeah.
you know, we talk about, was it real estate, you know, fix and flip. I mean, you're literally flipping this where you're getting a profit on the weeks on end or what, like a couple months. I mean, that's crazy to me. Crazy good. So something I want to bring up to you guys' attention just real quick. You heard Adam talk about some of these things, and just to give you a heads up, I mean, even on the low end, you know, if you go to X, straight from their X. You see here, and I'll full screen this for you guys. Titan X, 62% buy and burn, real ETH yield. And then, what stands out is like some of these concept proof of burn 2.0. I mean, wow. And then this right here, by the way, guys, I'm not paid to shield this or any of that stuff. I just want to recognize that a lot of you guys in the community are saying to me, I want something on the short end. All right, well, let's recognize that. So, we can appreciate Adam's time being here. This is something that I shared with Adam earlier before the show. You see here, for example, Titan X, Win, Pumpamentals. I like some of the terminology. And it talks about the sole design purpose of Titan X is to reduce supply at programmatic, buy pressure through smart contracts and drive demand to the ecosystem through various avenues and game theory mechanics. I mean, say what you want. Like, you just go through these documents. I mean, how many things have we seen out there that's just absolute garbage where it's like 2 pages and you don't have much documentation? You could totally see, and especially with what Adam has shared, like, there's been some real thought put into this, especially with what he mentioned in regards to massive buy and burn, large portion of supply stake. But what stood out to me was this concept of pools. Now, this is something that we are kind of collaborating on. So Titan X, you have like these liquidity pools, there's incentives and so on. And you heard Adam mention specifically the whole thing of like Uniswap and so on. So, I pointed out to some of you guys, you want something on the short end, Uniswap is easy 2x. It's already done the 2x. So shout out to you guys that listen to some of that. But look what it says here. Uniswap v4 inherits all the capital efficiency gains of Uniswap v3, but provides flexibility via hooks and gas optimization across entire life cycle. What's crucial for your understanding is if you're to go over to here, in this particular white paper of Uniswap v4, it talks about specifically Uniswap v4 supports the minting / burning, and I'll try to blow this up a little bit more for you guys can see it a little bit better. But yeah, the minting / burning, let me go further up, excuse me. A Singleton implemented ERC 6909 tokens for additional token accounting, described, of course, in that specification. But the point is understanding governance updates. So with Titan X, governance definitely stood out to me. But look what it says here. Similar to the Uniswap v3, v4 allows governance the ability to take up the cap percentage of the swap fee on a particular pool. Titan X really stands out with all these particular pools. And if anything, like those incentives. So look what it says here, which are additive to liquidity pool fees, I should say. Unlike V3 of Uniswap, governance does not control the permissible fee tiers or tick spacings. Now, I've been telling you guys for a while now, since earlier this year, and maybe even on the old channel, about watch out when Uniswap v4 happens. Here's why I'm sharing this with you. It says, as discussed above, Uniswap v4 introduces meaningful gas optimizations through flash accounting, the singleton model, and supportive of native ETH. Back to what Adam was talking about in regards to native ETH. Additionally, the introduction of hooks makes the protocol enshrine price oracle that was included in Uniswap v2 and v3. Now, we know most meme contracts are on that v2, and there's some that are on that v3. But it says it makes it unnecessary, which also means base pools, back to Titan X, forego the oracle altogether and save around 15,000 in gas on the first swap on a pool in each block. So say what you want. At the end of this year, it seems like it's a real thing. Uniswap has been doing some updates in regards to all this. And if anything, watch what happens. We go to Titan X Hub, like what Adam was sharing earlier. And you see here constant examples of what's burned and staked, constant examples of different pairings, whether it's Hydra and so on. And for me, it's just like, unless I'm missing something here, Adam, and I'll have you come back in the frame. When Uniswap v4 comes out, so many meme projects and so many other projects that are going to go on that contract is going to recognize the incentives of that v4 contract on Uniswap. So to me, Uniswap with Titan X, it's like it would be like turbocharged. This whole thing that you're doing over here. I just want to get a little bit of your thoughts on that because I know that we kind of just briefly touched basis on some of the use case about this.
I think this is going to be very big because the guys that have been building, what they've been doing with the buying birds and the LPs is they're creating NFTs on V3 for the contract. So that way, when you interact with them, it's not super expensive, because you got to be conscious of that. When you're going and you're minting an NFT, you got to do the approval, then you mint the NFT, and then you claim it, and you're spending a lot of gas if Gwei's at like 15 or 20, and it really prices the smaller people out. So I think this is going to be huge, and it's going to just open up DeFi for what it was meant to be, to not be gouged by these middlemen. And it's unique too, because with Pulse Chain, where I'm a big fan of that, just because what Richard Hart's going through, love him or hate him, what the SEC is trying to do to him is just insane, and it has his case has a huge effect on all of DeFi, because he's fighting for Ethereum in a sense too. Because if they go after Pulse Chain, it's a fork of Ethereum, so he's in a sense fighting for all of us. But the way that the pools and stuff are done over there, it's just so much cheaper. And when you can eliminate the fees like that, it just opens up the devs and these projects to get so much more creative with the things that they do. And like, you guys might be like a little confused with all the thing I'm talking about, but like the whole point of all these other projects on top is to help burn Titan X, but also for you to help multiply your bags, because the protocols are designed in a way to give you ROI. So you can participate in them, help the whole ecosystem by burning Titan X, but also making yield on it, which is, it sounds too good to be true. But when you're early enough in these protocols and you give it enough time, in crypto, time can actually be your friend if you do it the right way. So I'm excited to see what this V4 brings to a couple of projects that I know that are being built here, that are, I know that the fees and stuff are already problems. So it's definitely going to have a big impact.
And speaking of that V4, everybody, I just want to bring this to your attention as well. Let's full screen this. So this is straight from Techopedia, but it's in regards to that Uniswap V4 expected release date. It's supposed to potentially happen end of this year. Look what it says. You heard what Adam mentioned in regards to native ETH with Titan X. So Uniswap V4 reintroduces native ETH, simplifying the trading process. Again, reducing gas fees. So when we talk about supply and demand, I mean, I know it sounds like I'm putting a lot of emphasis on Uniswap, but to me, these go hand in hand. Why wouldn't you want to recognize like an exchange, a decentralized exchange that's going to do something, right? We're talking about the enablers to turbocharge things. I think if anything, it's like your ice cream sundae here. It's like you got vanilla ice cream here with Uniswap, and you got Titan X coming over with all the toppings, if you will. They complement each other. So simplifying the trading process is reducing the fees. Look what it says though. Uniswap V4, which by the way isn't fully out yet, is the latest iteration of the world's most popular decentralized exchange. Whether people like Uniswap or not, recognize this launched by the end of 2024. For a lot of you guys, if you listen to what I was saying, I'm a humble guy, but I did point this out. You've already done more than a 2x on the short term. Awesome. But we're still in October. Tomorrow's, November 1st. So earlier this month, Uniswap V4 and it is bug bounty competition to bring the project ever closer to its highly anticipated Ethereum mainnet launch. But the point is this. What is Uniswap V4? Automated market maker. Not only improves gas efficiency, everybody, it's literally like 99% slash in those gas fees. People are going to get whiff of this, and they're going to come back to the exchanges. They're going to give them the most significant savings. So for me, I would recognize like, okay, interesting, like I'm going to combine some of my investments that are ETH focused, but if anything, I'm not going to get hit with these crazy gas fees. Everybody complains about Ethereum gas fees, right? So we see some of this, and more importantly, is understanding that, this creates a tremendous incentive mechanism, if you will, that's really going to stand out. And, basically, I think it's on this page real quick. Yeah, there it is. According to the Uniswap V4 white paper, the singleton design pattern makes liquidity deployment 99% cheaper. Adam, my God, you think about everything you've been talking about with Titan X, with all these liquidity pools and so on. To me, this is like, let's shake hands. Let's, like, this is going to turbocharge that. And you will see a tremendous amount of liquidity come in. People will realize the incentives of saving on gas fees because, let's face it, ETH, that's a thing. So, and if you guys have been following the whole thing Uniswap, I mean, guys, take advantage of the quick 2x's. Don't marry some of the stuff, obviously, if you hold the Uniswap token. But who doesn't want that quick money, especially if you already have enough long-term money? We talk about long-term money here every day. So I just want to get some more of your thoughts about this before we kick it on over to something else in regards to some of the community questions. I see you guys, we're going to highlight some of that. So, Adam?
Yeah, this is awesome, man. And I've heard some stuff too that Uniswap V4 is also being built out for the banks to use on their back ends. So I think that whole institutional DeFi that we've been hearing rumblings about, we're so close to that. And one thing I did forget to say too about Titan X is I totally forgot to talk about the staking. Is if you, when you do your miner, or if you just buy and you stake your Titan X, there's payouts consistently. Every 8 days there's a payout. Every month there's a payout. Every 90 days there's a payout. And we just had the day 369 payout came out yesterday or the day before. So I did staking on day one, but the price obviously came down from day one to day 280 significantly. So the stakes that I did are worth, they were like $1,500 at the time, and now it's worth like 200. So I'm not really earning any ETH. If I came in right now with a couple $100 worth, I'll have double the shares. So if you came in with, $1,000 of Titan X and you staked it, your ETH payouts will be pretty decent. And that's one thing that's awesome too, is these payouts are never going away. They're here for forever. They consistently go every 8 days, every month, every 90 days. So this is kind of like incentivizes people to and just to earn ETH. It's a great way if you're going to hold it and you don't want to participate in protocols to try to earn more Titan X, stake it, earn more ETH, sell that ETH for more Titan X. I mean, it's so cool. There's so many different things, and what's coming on top of it. Like, I could go all night, but guys, just check out the Titan X Hub. There's 30 or 40 streamers that are going all day talking about this stuff. Follow Jake Sharp on Twitter. He's a great guy. He's always engaging, always posting really good stuff. And this is what crypto was supposed to be and what crypto is all about. You want to build something, you can build it whatever you want. No one's stopping you. And that's what I love about it.
Yeah, very cool. Glad to have you share some of this. We're going to recognize some of you guys in the community with your questions. Just at least want to welcome Dark to Light, XRP XLM. Never get to see it live. I think I highlighted your comment earlier. Thank you again, Elon Muff, Michael Cornwell. And we're going to go further down. I think I saw some questions here. So Fox Mulder says Titan X goes hyper deflationary on November 8th. I mean, that's 9 days away. That's pretty soon. She Dragon X says he sold his XRP December 2023 to make 23 Titan X miners. Titan X, let's go. I don't know about selling all your XRP, but I hear you. You gotta do what you
he
gotta
could
do.
buy back 20 times his bag right now, probably.
That's worth pointing out. So, Learn and Evolve. All right, this is a good question. This will be for you, Adam. If anything, I'll let you read it.
It is not the same dev. The dev for Dragon X, his name is Eric, and he has, I think, 3 projects now that have launched, and he was involved with Hyper, and I know he's building some incredible stuff right now too. So Jake and Eric are the founders of Titan X and Dragon X, and then all these other projects, most of them are guys that were in the community day one or in Jake's private group early, and they just started building projects because they saw how incredible it was, and they had ideas, and people were actually supportive instead of crucifying them and telling them they were crazy or there was a stupid idea. People were like, yeah, that's really cool, build it. And this is the result.
Thank you for clearing that up. All right. So, yeah, Fox, Mulder replied in regards to that. Let's see here. Crypto Neck. What's the long-term goal of the project? Like a 5 to 10-year plan? Do you want to get into the weeds about that, or?
Bro, I mean, in 10 years, I can't even imagine where this is going. I mean, it's programmed into the code to do a 55,000x in 8 years. Titan X. That's the way it was designed with all this. And it's going way better than he ever could have imagined when we were talking about it before launch. And after launch, I was asking him, did it meet your expectations, crush them, not come close? And he said crushed. So yeah, this is an incredible long-term play for just staking Titan X and just earning ETH for the next 10 years. I mean, where else can you do that?
Now, I guess sometimes some people don't want to talk about 10 years, especially when it comes to crypto, right? They want everything to happen in I could mention 2030. People don't want to hear that. They're like, all I want to hear is maybe 2026 at the most, max. I don't got, I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that. Like, well, you don't have time for your long-term investments? Come on, man. Let's read this from Learn and Evolve. Titan X came out first, but Dragon X surpassed it tremendously. I mean, I have to take you guys' word on that. I'm learning this stuff, so.
Yep. It's because a couple projects that came out, they built on top of Dragon X. Inferno was one of them, and Baby Dragon X. So it came out, and Dragon X is going so good, they turned their buy and burn off right now. So it's just collecting money, not even being used. So it's guys, it's an opportunity unlike anything I've ever seen. And like, I have nothing to gain from this. Like, I'm a pleb. My bags are so small that me trying to shill Titan X to pump my own bags is just comical in itself. Like, I'm truly here to help people, to show people and stuff that the mainstream's not going to tell you about. And if you want to win in crypto,
about it, bro.
You got to go against the grain.
Yeah, well, I'm sure at some point there'd probably be somebody who will be like, yeah, Max is a paid shill of this too. Really? I just embrace community and people that support myself and you guys and so on, like Adam of VibraFinance and so on, because the way I look at it is, why wouldn't I do that? So, no, it's not a paid shill. But you know what? He speaks passionately about it, and, I'm an open-minded person. I want to learn more about things that I don't necessarily always cover. So, anyway, let's read this from Fox Mulder. I would say protocols that are liquidity bonded with Titan X are, well, I think it's a typo, but anyway, I get what you're saying. All right, let's see here. Here's another question real quick. What do the Titan X team plan to do with that 40 million that's farmed? You want to answer that?
Yeah, so that's not the team's money. That the farms are just opened up to anybody, so you can come and participate in them. So though that $40 million is actually people like myself. I'm in the Volt and Titan X farm, so that has the team. There's nothing that they're doing. I think Jake has some cool plans, because with other stuff with like Pancake Swap and the incentive coin on Pulse Chain, there's nothing that's burning it. So he's figuring out creative ways to now buy and burn the incentive token that you earn as a reward. So instead of it just being super inflationary and just constantly getting dumped and diluted, he's now figuring out ways to use fees to buy and burn that own coin. Normally people take that money and put it in their pockets.
That's true, especially with meme tokens, especially the garbage ones. I just want to, put out a disclaimer. Thank you guys. This is not our typical, thing that we cover. You guys rock. I just saw the stats, about roughly 150 on the combined live on YouTube and X. So really, really appreciate you guys. It means a lot that it also tells me that you're also open-minded to other things that I don't normally cover. So glad to have a special guest, Adam of VibraFinance, on the show. Let's see this. Let's read this from MO. How do you buy this token? You came in late, guys. I mean, there's numerous ones. But what stood out to me was Uniswap. What about you, Adam?
Yeah, you can use Uniswap, or I think Cow Swap is another one. There's a couple, but you can just use Uniswap. And I really liked Deck Screener. You can put all of them in there and look at the charts. But that Titan X Hub is really good too. You can go in there and get the pages and the white papers with the addresses on them.
Cool. We'll just read a few more comments. I like this because it's being fair to criticism, or whether people look at it. Titan X is complicated. There's a lot of protocols, and not every protocol is for everyone, but it has buy and burn that's unlike any he's ever seen. Back to what you were saying, Adam, in that regard. So, all right, let's see here. I think for the most part, you guys have the same comments and stuff, which is cool. Like this one, not financial advice. I would not do that. Look for mining some protocol tokens like Lotus, buying Element 280. I think that's the back and forth conversation they have, so that's fun.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, let's read this from Tim Shea. Unichain is coming out this month. They need to integrate Uniswap token in the chain to keep SEC off their butts. Uniswap should head back to the $40 rate. That'd be tremendous. I just was telling people, I mean, if you see the long-term vision, Tim, that's awesome. I've been in and out of Uniswap since it was like $1.50. I just do like quick little 2X's on it and so on, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because I mean, if we marry every single thing, then how are we going to have any of that short-term money? You know what I mean? Like, I am already into so many things long-term. So, but I get it. You look at it as like a quick little 5X. Cool. Very, very cool. All right. So, yeah, just like, regular, not ERC20, native Ethereum, ETH is what we're talking about.
Yeah, not wrapped ETH.
Right. Absolutely. So let's go further down. Hey, Zara, welcome back. Welcome back. Hello to your husband, Michael Montclair. Max Page Show scam. That's funny. That's funny. I only really covered the decent wallet, guys. Still, all right. This would be like one and only times. Get yourself a decent wallet. I use it. It's simple, and everybody needs cold storage. I mean, at this point, what are you doing? So, all right. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna actually get into the next segment that we have. But before we do so, just a quick highlight. Give this brother a follow. This is Adam of VibraFinance. Here is his YouTube. He does live shows more often than me. Those days of old Max doing a live show every day for over a year, that's not happening anymore. Okay. 3 jobs, 7 days a week. Something I had to give. That's what I had to give. So, but follow brothers like this over on his platform. Obviously, he's very passionate about Titan X. He's talking about, for example, Qubic. We're going to get to that in a moment. And he covers quite a few other things. He does collaborations. Heck, your significant other obviously covers XRP and XLM. I'll have to give her an invite over here. But is there anything else you want to share real quick before we get into the Qubic segment that you want people to maybe look forward to on your platform?
I mean, I guess I have covered so much. Like, I'm so bullish on Hedera. I'm so bullish on Stellar and the altcoins over there. I'm so bullish on the XRP ledger and Sologenics and Casino Coin. I'm so bullish on the AI stuff. Like, I'm really passionate about crypto, and I try to find the best stuff all around crypto in each kind of different niche or sector of the market. So, you can find videos of me talking about XRP just as I am about Titan X. So, I got pretty much the same stuff you cover. I talk about it too.
Very cool. I could totally respect that. Let's full screen this. This is his X. He can be followed over at VibraFinance. And I thought it was pretty cool. In the mail, you sent me the whole thing. Like, you got your own business cards. I'm like, man, I don't even have a Maximus Crypto business card, man. So I need to relax and take notes, right? There you go. I know you guys heard some of that Biggie earlier. Interesting, believe it or not, the reason why you hear that particular song doesn't get flagged, believe it or not, on the live. So, sometimes you gotta know the tricks to the trade, right?
Really?
Anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and there's a few other AI ones I've done that don't get flagged, which is cool. So I always try to pay attention to that. So anyway, Kenneth, glad to have you back. Fox Mulder is funny talking about native ETH. All right. So we're going to do now is we're going to take this off the screen. I'm going to pull this up. We're now going to start the Qubic segment. So I don't know if Mr. Darius Magruder, aka Learn and Evolve, is still here. I'm sure that's probably the main thing you're tuning in for, sir. But you mentioned it, Darius, a while back. to look more into it and so on, and so a few other people and so on. But and then I tune into Adam over at Finance, and he's like constantly talking about Qubic, and I'm like, interesting. Well, going to do a collaboration with you, which we're doing right now, and going to talk about this whole thing at Qubic. So coming up on your screen is the whole thing in regards to Qubic. If you're wondering where you can get this, I mean, there's a few places, but nonetheless, like, you can get it on, I mean, if you're outside the United States, like MEXC, I mean, there's some of these other exchanges. To be honest, I'm not too familiar with. I'm familiar with AscendX. That's a pretty good one. But again, you have to be outside the United States. And then I guess that's what I'll ask you. As far as U.S. exchanges, how in the world do you go about getting yourself some Qubic before we give people the outline?
Yeah. Believe it or not, I'm up in New York, literally the hardest state to buy crypto in. Bitstamp just banned buying and selling. I've been using them since 2020, and 2 months ago they banned it. And I just got an email saying starting in December 6th, you're going to have to report every single address you withdraw to and identify where the money's going. And it's like, whoa, where'd that come from? But I, believe it or not, used Trade Ogre there. I signed up, no VPN, from New York with the email address, and was good to go. I've used it multiple times. And Safe Trade too is like their twin exchange or whatever. But that worked for me, no problem. I was shocked.
So I'm sorry, you said Say Trade, and what was the other one before that? I missed that.
Trade Ogre is the one I used.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, people say I look like an ogre, so maybe I should go to Trade Ogre. So anyway, anyway, all right, cool, good to know. So what we're gonna do now is, some basic things. I mean, what is Qubic? Maybe you think this is silly to do this, but it says Qubic is a unique layer 1 useful proof of work. UPOW, crypto platform. Qubic utilizes a previously unseen protocol, the Quorum protocol. Now, I want to state this. Here's a little disclaimer. When I saw Quorum, I'm like, what? Pump the brakes on that one. No, it's not the Quorum you think in regards to JP Morgan. Okay, that's what I gathered. It's not the same thing. So I just want to put a little disclaimer, because people have done that in the past, have they not, Adam? Especially when it comes to like XCN, Onyx coin, they're like, oh my God, this is JP Morgan's coin. It's not the coin. You know what I mean?
No.
So just want to point that out. And then the other thing that kind of caught my attention is Qubic is capable of combining the power of oracles and smart contracts, and has a feeless, that sounds great, feeless transactions and asset transfers, leverages computational power for AI training, making proof of work useful. Now, when I saw that about the whole thing about computational power and AI, especially like AI governments, I was thinking, hey, guess what? Kind of sounds like Casper to a sense. And I know there's been a lot of bad news about Casper lately, but all these things kind of caught my attention. So nonetheless, Adam has something that we're going to pull up, and here it is. And if anything, we'll full screen this, buddy. Let's get into the weeds about this.
Yeah. So, Qubic, we found it almost a year ago now. And after a couple months of me and my buddy doing some digging, to me, when I look at a project, the founder is very important to me. And when you look at the founder of Qubic and where Sergey Ivancheglo has come from, and his previous projects that he's released, which were INX, which was the number 1 or number 3 most profitable pre-sale in history. And then he also founded IOTA. And I know you talk about IOTA on the channel. We know it's one of the coins that is Dubai just adopted right now. Like that's an actual functional blockchain that is being adopted in the real world. So this guy has put out the number 1 and the number 3 most profitable ICOs in the history of crypto. And the whole time for the last 14 years behind the scenes, he's been working on Qubic. It just, the time wasn't ready. The infrastructure, the technology, the bandwidth, it just wasn't the time to do it. So he's been waiting and waiting and waiting. And finally, in the last couple of years, things have gotten to the point where he can start building this. And if you look at his alias Come From Beyond, we found him in chat rooms with Satoshi. back in 2010. Not many people know this. I haven't made it public, but we did research. We found his come from beyond handle in chat rooms with Satoshi. So if you put a gun to my head, I would say 100% that guy knows who Satoshi is or the group is, without a doubt. He was there mining Bitcoin from day one. So this guy has been around. He's connected. His first two projects were complete home run winners. And if the technology was here 10 years ago, I don't think he would have even bothered with those projects. This was the baby he's been trying to build the entire time, which is Qubics. And Peter here is one of the developers for Qubic. He just puts out really good posts about this stuff. And AI Garth is the secret sauce that they're working on. It's their AGI, the Advanced AI Project. It represents a major shift from building task-specific neural networks to creating AIs that generate other AIs, pushing the boundaries of self-improving intelligence. You're like most projects out here, these artificial neural networks like Chat GBT and what's the other one there? Grok. They're just like little language models. Like they don't do anything. They suck. This what Qubic here is so much bigger. AI Garth aims for AI singularity, a system where AIs feed themselves into future iterations, improving continuously. The only limitation is computational power. And that's where Qubic miners step in, providing scalable, decentralized resources. And I didn't know this, but Qubic is now, I believe, the fourth biggest supercomputer computer network in the world right now, which is that kind of blew my mind. I thought they were kind of flying under the radar, but no, they're up there in the top 3 or 4. I forget which one it was, but I know it's in the top 5. So this stuff is revolutionary. The future of AI isn't manually creating more models, which is like these chat GBTs. They're relying on information that's being fed to them, but do we know it's real? Do we know it's not biased? Are they feeding them all the information? Like, who's going to trust Google's AI? Like, it's you might as well just call it like, liberal eye or lie AI. No one's going to trust it. What they're building here is we train the models ourselves. We give up the extra computer power on our space so Qubic can learn. They built, I'll talk about it in a second, what they're building to train it, but memory and management in AI Garth is revolutionary. Instead of storing and recalling vast amounts of data like traditional systems, AI Garth sends pre-filtered data into the future for later use. Far more efficient, mirroring how the human brain works. And like that's where the problem is too with these other companies. They just can't afford the infrastructure and the hardware. It would be so much money where Qubic is like borrowing it from us and other people. So it's super cheap. And they've really, I think, separated themselves. I mean, Tau right now is the price winner, but we all know especially with our ISO coins, our utility coins, that right now the prices of these coins are not reflected by their utility, their future potential. I mean, we're living in clown world where they're valuing these ghost chains and these garbage. So that shift will come, but Qubic miners play a crucial role in the ecosystem. They're tasked with scaling AI Garth's intelligent tissue, which acts like a piece of a brain. Complex problems are solved by combining and recombining these pieces into more advanced AIs. The architectural has properties of implicit memory. This allows for sophisticated temporal connections, which enhances energy efficiency, a solution akin to human cognition without explicitly needing additional memory layers. Like, guys, this stuff is deep. Like, I would recommend going through and going to Qubic's website and reading the blogs up here. They have phenomenal blogs that come out every like 3 days now. It seems like, you can look back all month. They've been putting them out, and the people that they're hiring, the researchers, the talent that they're bringing on board is top tier. They check all the boxes. The lottery that they're building, this is really cool. So in the future, I'll be able to say, all right, we're going to have a bet on right now. me and Max, I'm going to say Dragon X outperforms, or XRP is going to outperform XLM. And Max is going to say, nope, it's going to be XLM that outperforms XRP. We can make a bet on here, and all you guys can come and say, all right, I'm taking Adam's side, or no, I'm with Max. And we can make our own bets and create our own lotteries. And it's just really cool what they're doing. And this is just one of the projects that is being built, but there's a list of stuff that's coming in development for Qubic. But the one thing that was really fudded hard was the supply. When I don't know if Coin Market Cap even fixed it yet, but every time you go here, people would come here and they'd see the supply of like 1 quadrillion, and that would really turn them off. And people would say, oh man, this is just like some huge inflation coin. I'm not going to touch this. But little do they know that this was wrong. Coin Market Cap hasn't updated the latest proposals that went through. So 80% reduction of the future supply is what just happened recently. And I want to see if this is, so I don't know. When I stream, my computer just gets ridiculously slow. I don't know what it is, but let's see here.
It's all good. I mean, if you have, like, for example, your main computer connected, on a hard line, and then your laptop wireless, it's gonna do that, unfortunately.
So yeah, they at least they took it off. They didn't put max supply as 1,000 trillion on here. At least they left it blank now. So that's good. So that was like a huge FUD thing for people. But I mean, the price right now is at rock bottom. I mean, when I started buying it in February, I mean, it was up around here maybe. So I've almost doubled my bag for a third of the price. And like, this is a blessing down here, in my opinion, that these are the entry points. This is when you want to buy in before the hype is here, before it takes off. And they are like knocking on the doorstep with this AI Garth of revolutionizing the game. And I think that the Bitcoin network is a giant waste of energy. And if you just stick that U in front of it, and instead of proof of work, it's now useful proof of work, that's where this is all going, in my opinion. So I'm super bullish on Qubic.
Yeah, sorry, I did see that. So, like, for example, and I'm glad you're addressing some of these questions. I mean, it's good to not dodge questions, of course. Like Brother Selmo, he says, Selmo FUD, Qubic has a large circulating supply. And in the past, when I saw that, that was like something that kind of turned me off. I'll just be honest about it and so on. But I get it. We got to do more due diligence. Even when I cover like maybe a new project or something like that, if I notice that somebody's like, man, that supply, or that supply doesn't add up, I'll try to go to another source, which would be like, for example, CoinGecko, and I'll see, like it's a different supply over there, for example. So I'm glad you're pointing that out. The other thing you were pointing out also, I believe, was the whole thing of what was it, the UPOW. So I'm gonna pull this up on you guys' screen for just a brief moment. Let me just take out that comment for a minute. Good question though, Somo. So it's this right here, and I'm a full screen it. You see here, what is the difference between proof of work and, like you were saying, useful proof of work? So look at this. Qubic's useful proof of work sets itself apart from, I guess, the competition. Even if all mining were to cease, I wish I could highlight this, but it won't let me. The Qubic ticks would persist. As discussed in the section, what is the consensus algorithm for Qubic? It says Qubic's useful proof of work, miners are tasked with a different objective, and the UPOW protocol channels computational power away from a wasteful mathematical calculation. Instead, it directs the computational power towards the training of these artificial neural networks, and basically utilizes this thing called TAPS into the network's substantial computational capacity, advancing machine learning and effectively repurposing the energy that would otherwise be squandered in traditional proof of work protocols. I mean, that's for some of you guys that study like proof of work, you guys know me, I mine Caspa. That stands out to me. So I'm glad, there's a little thing about that. And the other thing I saw here was this, about the burn mechanism. It says currently 2 of those mechanisms, because let's face it, I mean, there is a big supply. So it's like there has to be some kind of burn, right? So it says by initiating smart contracts through an initial public offering, where the costs for shares are burned. And the other one is executing smart contracts. It says layer 2 other mechanisms will be added, having oracles burn Qubic while providing the Qubic chain with real world data. The usage of, back to what you were talking about earlier in regards to IGARs, AI GARs. So, is there any other newer plans or updates in regards to, I don't know, maybe rapidly burning this? These are questions are obviously on people's minds.
Yeah. So what I think it is they need to have a lot of supply liquid, because when a new project comes and launches, they have to use a certain amount of cubic. So they're almost like taking it and taking it, or using it and taking it off the market. A new project launches, they gobble up the supply and take it off the market. So the supply is going to constantly bounce around on this coin, which I still haven't really wrapped my head around how that exactly works. But it's one thing I have noticed is that for a while these projects are launching and being incubated, it's going to get pretty volatile. But that's kind of what to be expected when something is in its infancy. But again, this is where I try to be long term thinking, where when you can identify a project and you're early and the price is at the bottom, I mean, what's your downside risk? So I don't mind holding some of these coins, like the polar opposite of Titan X, that might not do well this cycle, but if it's the one that's chosen in a couple years, these are the things that change your life right here. These opportunities. And when you just look at the founder, Sergey Ivancheglo, where he came from, all the people that they're hiring, and Microsoft just came out with a tweet basically saying they're 2 years behind Qubic, or Qubic put out a tweet saying Microsoft's now looking into AI and all this, and they're literally 2 years behind Qubic. So it's just kind of fitting that they're going to just give up and adopt the winner in the future and all just kind of plug into it, like kind of like Tao is right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, Tao is, oh man, I don't know if you're familiar with Tokenizer. I mean, he was covering Tao since I think like the $40 range, and that's like $550. You know what I mean? And that was like a year ago. And I look at, different tokenomics, grounded. I mean, Tao's got basically, I think, the same tokenomics as BTC. But something I want to pull up onto your screen, or everybody's screen, is this question from Darius, Learning Evolved. Qubic doesn't have decimals. You can't buy a portion of Qubic like you can with BTC. Qubic has less supply than Bitcoin. Darius, I'm nothing wrong with what you said. This confuses me because when if I was a person went on CoinGecko or CMC, I'd be like, huh? So maybe I got to hear from you, Adam. Like when I hear this, I'm like, huh?
I'm confused too, because on the exchanges you definitely can buy fractions of coins, because when I was doing limit orders on there with Tether, I was definitely getting fractions, but I don't know if that's just the exchange. But I definitely noticed in the wallet, when you send them out into the Qubic wallet, there aren't fractions in there. But I don't know how there's less supply then, because if there's 200 trillion, I mean, even if you don't cut them, oh, I know why. I know what he's saying, because each Satoshi or each Bitcoin has what, 100 million Satoshis in it. So 100 million times the 21 million is actually more Satoshi wise than Qubic, I guess is how you would look at it.
That's a
I
hard thing to
think that's
wrap
what he
your head
means.
around, my friend. You know what I mean? That gets pretty deep, but that's cool. That's fine. I was just like, what in the world? Like, how? You know what I mean? Anyway, let's see here. Caspa is not either. LOL. A lot of great projects are not on Qubic yet. Okay, let's read another one from Learn and Evolve. Qubic recently was at the Binance blockchain event in Dubai. They may hit Binance before Qubic, and smart contracts burn Qubic supply. I guess that's a real thing.
Yeah, exactly. The smart contracts and new projects that launch, I think they have to either buy an allocation or burn a certain amount when they launch. I forget exactly how it works, but yeah, it's going to be extremely deflationary. Like the supply is
That sounds
not
good.
anything that is a red flag to me one bit.
I like hearing that. Microsoft is more focused on, or excuse me, Microsoft is focused more on CPUs, and that's Qubic's vision. Qubic is also focused on more of the CPU than GPUs. There you go. There is 1,000 Okay, Satoshis and 1 BTC. You can buy portions of BTC, but okay. Well, then back to what you just said. Then, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing I'm going to pull up is this. It's a quick video for you guys. Again, I'm not paid by freaking Qubic or any of this stuff, guys. Let's just get that out of the way. We do research here. We look at projects that stand out to some of you guys. Maybe you feel as though I'm late to the show. There's projects I could talk about that you don't even know there's a show going on. So how about that? So with that said, we're gonna play this. This is pretty good. And if anything, what is this again? Think about this. It says computers, validators versus AI miners, Qubic's 2 key roles. What is the roles? Let's go ahead and play this. We'll come right back. Here we go. You have the whole thing of smart contracts, and I guess apparently when they're deployed, it's going to contribute towards the burning and so on, and that's good. I mean, you think about ecosystems being built. If you have a few good ecosystems, you just need a few stars, right, to kind of do their thing and get the ball rolling. Well, think about that ecosystem. So if there's going to be burns on that, that spells basically deflationary. And then the other thing I want to get into was security audits for critical code and infrastructure. It talks about here the whole thing of introducing Oracle machines, new capabilities. I mean, all these things, if you really think about it, it's like there's some other solid projects that talk about, like AI governance and, for example, machine learning. I obviously covered Jasmine quite a bit. But it does seem as though that there's some really good things in here that we should all point out, and that brings me over to here, because from Qubic they posted this actually not too long ago about the whole thing about deflationary tokenomics. So I know that when you guys see this supply, these are the things that are on your mind. So, let's just get right into it for just a moment. So basically, earlier in the year, Qubic announced that they would be doing like halving cycles. I mean, let's face it, that really stands out with Bitcoin. Caspa does halving, believe it or not, their own version every month, and then they have a full halving. It happens once a year, right? So proof of work, obviously that's something they do. But look at this. Every 52 epochs, the emissions will be cut by 50%. That's interesting. Currently, they have approximately 850 billion coins released each week. But by around epoch 279, this will be reduced to approximately 53 billion in a week. They have a halving schedule, and it's been designed with all holders in mind, and it's to ensure the continued growth of the Qubic ecosystem. And you see right here, and I'll try to make it a little bit bigger for you guys, but you see right here a little bit more of the detail about this. So I don't know if you want to chime in about this, Adam, in regards to, this effective weekly emission after burns. I'm not trying to put you on the spot and so on, but, these are things that are obviously on people's mind because of that big supply.
Yeah, no, I mean this right here shows you. I mean, if you look at now, I don't know if this is old or not, but that just shows you how much supply is coming out. And if that stayed consistent, they didn't make these changes, you'd see that top bar going all the way across the screen. And instead, by epoch 591, I mean, the future supply, this is almost exactly what Titan X, the supply looks like after day 280, when the most miners were due and the most inflation came. And then after that, it just fell off a cliff. So instead of them letting this happen, I'm sure they saw the FUD. They saw people freaking out about it. So they went back to the drawing board and figured out, okay, what can we do to cut this? And this is the solution they came up with. It got passed by the community. So I think it's a really good thing.
Yeah, I'm glad to bring this to you guys' attention, and I'm glad that you're fully aware of this. Just a couple more things to get into in regards to Qubic before we kick it into the last bit of our coverage and recognize some community comments from you guys. By the way, awesome stream. Glad to have you on here for first time collaboration, Adam.
Yeah, man.
Give him a follow, you guys, over on his platform, VibraFinance. And the other thing I want to jump into is this was reported today, Halloween. Let's check this out because some of you guys want like something new. I mean, at the end of the day, if you already know about Qubic, what's the point of tuning in if you're not hearing anything new, right? So check this out, ready ahead of you. Qubic's revolutionary tokenomics and halvings. As you see on the date, October 31st, which is basically today. And, they talk about this new emission model, but what really stood out for me when I got further into this is addressing the whole 200 trillion max supply, a strategic reduction. Again, like Brother Selmo Fudd and some of the other guys, like you may say to yourself, I am not touching this. This seems like, like a meme coin with utility to a sense. Let's address that. So Qubic team implemented a significant reduction in the maximum supply of Qubic, reducing it from 1 trillion to 200 trillion. That's an 80% cut. Cool. Very cool. Strategic move designed to align the token supply with the network's long-term goals of scarcity and value preservation. I mean, these are all the terms that we like to hear, especially when it comes to the topic of tokenomics. So currently speaking, the circulating supply is approximately 120 trillion, which is still a lot, don't get me wrong, which means more than half of the new total supply is already in circulation. But this carefully managed supply aims to balance the network's growth with sustainable tokenomics. And then, of course, there's the whole thing of the impact on FDV previously with a higher maximum supply. By the way, if you guys are new to this, you don't know what FDV means. It means fully diluted value, okay? So previously, with a higher maximum supply, Qubic's fully diluted value, I just stated that again, was roughly 1.7 billion. With the 80% reduction in the max supply, the FDV has, in fact, decreased to approximately 340 million. This reduction could make Qubic more accessible and appealing to new investors. You might be a new investor, right? I mean, some of you guys are always looking into things, but it's going to potentially improve its market positioning and growth potential. Again, back to what Adam was talking about, and that brings us to this part about the balance burns, apparently. So it mentions here the network continues to emit a set amount of Qubic each week. And if you're wondering that amount, it's 1 trillion. It says this is not reduced though. Instead, a percentage of these weekly emissions are in fact burned, permanently removing these coins from circulation. I mean, that sounds great. And in regards to some other stats, for year 1, 15% of emissions are now burned each epoch. This burn process is the start of a powerful cycle of increasing controlled scarcity, reducing the available supply, and during Epoch 124, 1 week after the launch of the new emission model, its first supply burn was executed successfully with a total of nearly 149 billion cubic permanently removed from circulation. That's a lot, guys. This not only demonstrates the practical application of the burn mechanism, but also sets the stage for future burns that will further reduce the supply. Note, Supply Watcher may dynamically adjust burn rates to maintain network stability, so all emissions and burn figures, I should say, are flexible estimates rather than fixed values. So even though there's a huge supply, everybody, understand this. From what I gathered, just on the surface, I know it's just on the surface. I'm new to this. I'm learning just like you guys. But on the surface, it seems like this has a tremendous burn mechanism that really, really stands out, that is actually doing some things. So I want to hear some of your thoughts in regards to this, Adam.
I love it, man. It's exactly what needed to be done to counteract the FUD immediately. Because when you looked around, there was 2 or 3 things that were consistently, I think, holding people back. When you go to Twitter and you just get bombarded with the same thing. Oh, inflation coin. Oh, it's such a scam. Oh, it just inflates. Ha joke. What a scam. It affects people that are kind of on the fence. So I think they've done a great job in solidifying that. Now moving forward, they have a plan in place. Qubic is going to be a lot more scarce in the future. And you need to have some wiggle room. You can't just cut all your supply. Like they need to have development in the ecosystem. We didn't even talk about the grants program that they have. They have a massive program where they're giving people Qubic to bring awesome new ideas and projects into development and into building and releasing on Qubic. So they everything they're doing is getting better and better. Yeah, they made mistakes. No one's perfect, but they're very quickly to identify them, see where the problems are, get community feedback, and make adjustments quick, and then move forward. So it really has been impressive that all the FUD is now alleviated, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm glad that they recognize that. I mean, there's projects that are say, the heck with retail, I guess you could say, narrative. But then, then you see the extreme, right? What do we see from Manal? From Casper. He basically told all retail to go F themselves. My God.
Yeah.
And look how, yeah, that is not, I don't care who you are. You may get frustrated with what retail does. I get frustrated too. Some people point out QNT like worst performing crypto token, or Stellar, worst performing one, and so on. And it's just like, I get it. The retail focus, like you're focused on, you just want to see quick gains. I'm into this for the long term, but you still can't just tell a retail community to go F themselves for crying. So unprofessional, right? Anyway.
Wow.
So what we're going to do, guys, is just read a couple more comments in regards to what you have in regards to Qubic. And then we're going to kick it into the last segment we have tonight. I know we're going a little bit the distance. It's not on purpose. It's just a lot of things to get into. So glad to hear that you guys are going to maybe do a collaboration. That's cool. But go ahead.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Can you just share my screen real quick? I just want to bring this. They can just read this real quick while you're going through the comments.
Yeah, no problem. That one right there.
Yeah. So this is Qubic's new AI Anna, and you're going to be Qubic's AI Anna will communicate through X, coded by us. The large language models from large companies cannot reason and are simply superior search engines. Qubic aims to do more. We aim to build multiple evolving AIs from AI Garth, and this is an important step in the process. For this, we input data into the artificial neural network and wait for an output. This is the next step in that Qubic is taken to become the world's first decentralized AI and the world's only true AI. So basically, Anna is the AI that we're going to be training, starting with basic addition for now. The training process is the starting point for something much bigger. So basically, right now, we send them a math equation. 9 + 4 is 13. 6 + 2 is 8. And the more tokens that you have, it's going to be weighted to incentivization. So if you have 2 coins and you send the answer, the odds of you telling the truth are much slimmer than someone with 1 billion coins sending in the same equation. So please be aware that safeguards are in place so that Anna cannot be sabotaged by inputting incorrect answers, and it will be trained in an adversarial setting where humans may intentionally give incorrect addition rules. This process will depend on the amount of Qubic tied to each X account. If you lie, Anna will try to find you. So now we can earn Qubic for helping train the model, which I thought is really cool. So it's just another kind of aspect to tie the community together, get them more involved, incentivize them to participate in the training, because that's I think is going to be what comes down to a big part of this is how many people use it, how many people are willing to train it. And if you don't know about it, how are you going to know to even participate in it?
Yeah, you brought up some good things here, Adam, in regards to, like, you mentioned the whole thing, was it Grok and Chat GPT? Those are AI text-based platforms, and again, we talk about training. Well, an AI does need, obviously, that human interaction with the training. How's it going to get it right if it's just recycling the same thing all the time? I mean, I did this in a video. Somebody pointed out the whole thing is just like, AI, at least nowadays, scientists look at, like, you could take a whole bunch of pictures and you could throw it at the AI, and eventually, if you throw enough pictures at it, the algorithm is going to put together, like, I don't know, like an elephant or something like that, right? You throw enough at it. But there's got to be other models to improve the efficiency of what is being asked from the user, and that's the frustration I've had where, like, if I make a thumbnail, right? You're a content creator as well, right? We go over to, Copilot from Microsoft, and, how many times are we hitting it constantly to spell out the right word? It's always misspelling the word. And then you see other models that do a better job. Why are they doing a better job? Think about it. You're having literally humans saying, look, this is not the right way how this is spelled. And if anything, you attach things to train that. So to have this already built in with these mechanisms on Qubic, I think that's definitely worth pointing out as well. So you guys check out Qubic if you choose to do so. Something I thought I would point out as well here on your screen is recent all-time lows only 3 months ago, and it was at 0.51356. You're not too far away from that if you're looking at to get into something in which you're like, I believe in the long-term vision of this. I see the opportunity. Some of you guys are pointing out, like, you don't want to get into things where it's already been sent. For some of you guys, you don't like seeing some of this stuff. You only want to get into things that have been sent. I'm not like that, but I thought I'd point that out. All-time highs was 8 months ago. This project has only been out for not even a full year. I think it's been out since January, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So we're looking at roughly 10 months. And, I think I understand now the utility of this. And, I can see why Darius and yourself and, other people want to point it out. You're looking for some of the opportunities. It does have a rank of 249 on CoinMarketCap. This is not like one of your meme tokens that's ranked 5,000 or something like that. So that's also worth pointing out. And in regards to, for example, market cap, you're at 177 million verified market cap. So all these things are worth pointing out. And again, in regards to where you can get it, Trade Ogre and Safe Trade is what Adam of VibraFinance recommends in regards to, like American base and so on. So if you're outside of America, I mean, shoot, MEXC is really easy to use. I think on page 2, there's some of these other ones I never even heard of. So look more into it. Yeah. Saying goes, do more of your own research. So
And I just want to give a shout out to the great Crypto Escape. He's I took these screenshots from his videos. He's one of the Qubic streamers. He puts out really informative, really good content videos. So if you're looking for someone that puts out Qubic streams, the Great Escape is really good. Definitely give him a follow.
Very cool. Appreciate it. Thank you for presenting these. We're going to get into just a few comments just here briefly, and then we're going to give you guys the last segment. I know we're kind of going a little bit distance. I do appreciate you going distance with me. I didn't think this was going to take an hour, 2 or 3, or whatever the case be, but I do appreciate you, Adam, in that regard.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get now back into just a few basic comments. Let's see here what you guys have. John Follett, welcome. Qubic is not on Coinbase as usual. LOL. Hey, you want to know something? Oh, Coinbase. It's the Coinbase. That's funny. I was going to say, if you guys are waiting for things to get on Coinbase, when things get on Coinbase, like, you don't want to get into things would be right when they get on Coinbase. That's like,
that's to sell the news.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the way I look at it too. And let's read this. Learning Evolve, Caspa, not yet, LOL. Great projects are not on Qubic yet. All right. Let's see. Let's go further down. Sir Joe G says, present. You guys are always funny when it comes to, like, because I'm a former teacher, doing attendance or something. Present. Yeah. What's that guy say? Something Shirlish or something. I don't know. You ever seen that skit from Key and Peele? Anyway, the substitute teacher skit is the best one. Anyway. All right, let's go further down. Oh, okay. He recognized what you're talking about in regards to the grants program, Adam. First shooter game being launched. That's cool. I didn't know that. That's what I'm looking to do eventually, as far as my dream. Ecosystem definitely growing. Awesome. I did address this, guys, for everybody that's driving down the road. Not Casper with the hard R. Okay, Casper. Manal, some people call him Manal, Mineral, whatever you want to call him, the CEO, the guy that with the emo haircut. He on a Telegram screenshot told retail to go F themselves. Really professional, right? Anyway, and of course we know the whole thing of like, you can't do that, man. You just no. like hold your tongue, like, man, you may be thinking it, but you don't type that out. Like, what's wrong with you? No. But yeah, and then of course we saw the whole thing of them, I guess, apparently going with Hedera. I mean, I guess you could say it's bullish for Hedera. So do you want to answer this? Let's see here. I actually want to say hello to Josh. Happy Halloween, my friend. Hopefully you got a bunch of candy. Your dad was saying that you guys were going trick-or-treating, so happy Halloween to you, brother. Good to see you, Josh. And let's see here. You want to answer this? What would you guys would you guys do top 5 altcoins for this bull run? Do you want to talk about that, or
right up, like, for like maximum gains, or like for like I'll just do things that I think are going to pump the hardest for me, just random. If you ask me, I would say I think Titan X or Dragon X, either or. I mean, they trade sides. I think one of those is going to do hundreds of X's. I think people are really sleeping on a couple of the meme coins out there. Omakami's one. Mr. Miggles was one. I just get them sent to me, and they have huge communities. But it's the weird coins like that are going to do the biggest pumps. But I really like Karate Combat. I think that has a huge following behind it. And if they do that right with the L2 they're launching, like, that could be so big. Trying to think. I hope it's Qubic this cycle, but it might be next cycle. But there's another AI coin called Ledger AI. I think that's gonna do really well.
I saw that pop up. I saw something about that, but I don't know much about it. Go ahead.
It's backed by some big people, and it's just a small market cap, and those are the coins that typically get pumped. But you gotta know when to get out of them. And I'd rather be in stuff like Qubic, where, all right, if it doesn't do 100x this cycle, the future potential is so big with it that. Yeah, but I'm gonna go with Titan X, Dragon X, Mr. Miggles. Let's see. PTGC on Pulse Chain. That's a special altcoin. And then I don't know. Karate Combat and what's a real world asset coin that could go nuts this cycle? Let's go Clearpool. I think Clearpool is going to
I
shock
was about to
people.
literally mention Clearpool because of real world
Yeah,
assets. Yeah, yeah.
or like
Which we're gonna get into
Stronghold
that.
Velo. You could throw those
Okay.
in there. Those are going
A
to
lot
do
of people want
phenomenal
me to
too, I
cover
think.
that. I don't hold it, but I'm always rooting for everybody else's success. But I just like some of my things. It's like I don't want to be stretched out too thin, so I need to continue to hit my goals and stack more of what I have, compared to just
Mm-hmm.
jumping into the next thing, because that could be an endless cycle in itself.
Yeah.
Oh, these guys said this, I got to jump in this. Oh, these guys said that, got to jump into that, and it's just like I got to hit my goals on what I want to do. And in reality, I'm not going to hit all of my goals, but for the core ones, I feel like I really need
Mm-hmm.
to. So let's read this from John Follett. So if you use a certain exchange, you can be syndicated away from certain coins. Not supposed to be that way. All right, let's read this. I see how it is. Mavs are greater than Suns. All right, well, scat. All right.
Clay, man. Clay's that difference maker this year.
He just, he knows I'm a Suns fan. I'm also a Blazers fan. But anyway, that's okay. That's okay. We'll see what happens. But, respect. All right. Boomer F and Sooners in the house. The one and only Boomer F and Sooner. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10. Touchdown. Boomer F and Sooner. The crowd goes wild. Ah, what are you tuning into? Ah, why is Maximus going crazy? Ah. All right. Good to see you, Boomer. Good to see you, man. Happy Halloween. All right. Let's read this from Billy. He thanks Swan. I think for me, it's rolling the dice on the bull run. So when prices drop, I buy more quant and XRP. That's a good way of looking into it. We may learn and evolve. Give him a follow on his channel. He's going to do a collaboration with this guy right here, the one and only Adam of VibraFinance. And with that said, we are now going to get into the last segment for you guys. And I just want to throw this out there. Clearpool, first project I recovered. I was never paid by them. I've never been paid by any other project, really. I think I did one AMA with the old partner on his show. And there was a little bit of pay on that. But to the exception of that, I don't really get paid for these types of things. It's just a channel, provide research, you take it as you will. But Clearpool was the first utility project that I ever covered. In fact, it was the first coin I ever covered. So that's cool. And it was actually on this channel, Maximus Crypto, not on the other channel. I've done about 50 videos on Clearpool. So with that said, Clearpool, what's that all about? And why is it standing out recently? Well, shout out to Adam of VibraFinance. Give him a follow for crying out loud. He also is into CPOOL. He recognizes what it's doing. What is going on with CPOOL? Well, I'm going to pull this up on your screen. You're going to see some of that. So first thing I'm going to jump into is the performance. Believe it or not, this is one of the top performing ones that's really low market cap. I've been talking to you guys about this for a while. And it's okay. There's projects that you talk to me about and vice versa. But Clearpool is up, you read that right, 1,104% just about on the year. All right, in the last year, there's only 1 billion of the coins, or tokens, I should say. And here's the cool thing. They do have a max supply of 1 billion. And if you're wondering, like, are you chasing this uphill? Well, not too much. I know that we do with the whole, 80% rule. Like, we prefer if the project, is at the 80% mark. But keep in mind, are things not going bullish? Yeah, it'd be different if we're chasing something uphill and it had less than 80% in that supply and it was like a bear market, right? Obviously, we see, BTC where it's at, right? Like 73K. I think we recently hit it the other day. So what do you see here? You see 703 million CPOOL in the circulating supply. And again, up 1,103% on the year. CPOOL is crushing it. And my last bag I bought was about 2 cents. And I loaded up that particular time. And man, I'm so glad to do that. All right. Stop patting yourself on the back, Maximus, right? Check this out, everybody. go over to here, there's some recent news, and we'll have Adam definitely chime in about some of this. So, someone want to point out to you guys, Ocean is Clearpool's blockchain for RWA yield. Now, this whole thing of Ocean or Ocean is not out yet. But the whole idea that Clearpool is going to have its own blockchain, is that not all bullish as all you know what? Yeah, I'm telling you flat out, guys, it's the gems that are out there. This has always been a gem that stood out for me because you guys know me. I talk about the concept of utility in motion. And Clearpool is one of the best examples of real utility being put into motion. More importantly, as we get into this announcement, it mentions specifically introducing AUSD with Oxygen O2, the innovative RWA real-world asset liquidity layer on Ocean. Agora, not to be confused with Project Agora, because I know I cover Quantabit. I just want to put out a disclaimer. That's not the same thing. Agora, backed by leading investors, including Dragonfly, Kraken Ventures, Galaxy, Consensus. As we know, Consensus is in the mix of potentially purchasing R3 Corda, but they have launched AUSD. It's a dollar or digital dollar minted 1-1 ratio with USD fiat, but AUSD brings low cost, gas optimized transactions for trading, lending, and payments. Guys, if you're not aware about it, Clearpool is not just Ethereum based. They have all sorts of bridges to like Optimism. They got Mantle, they got Polygon, right? Look at this. Agora's AUSD strengthens O2's liquidity layer, driving RWA growth on chain, shares Patrick Chu, Agora's head of BD. O2 blends real-world assets, tokenized treasuries, and crypto assets into a unified liquidity pool. I mean, that sounds bullish as all you know what. Enhancing Ocean's ecosystem. You know, you get the gist. Now, here's the thing. I decided to take the liberty of going over here. And again, this is new. This is literally posted today, Halloween, October 31st, 2024. If you go over to here, there's a Medium about it. And again, back to this whole thing about Ocean is the blockchain for RWA yield being launched by CPOOL. Clearpool. Now, here's what really, really stands out for me. Earlier on this year, I think it was like February, March, give or take, how many times did we see interviews about capital market ecosystems, how they're going to stand out, according to Larry Fink of BlackRock? This is one example, a great example that is standing out. So, as you see right here, powered by what, everybody? You want to see that utility in motion? It's the CPOOL token. Okay? That's awesome. And, you know, Clearpool launched in March of 2022. Like it says, Clearpool has originated. Actually, Clearpool's been around since 2021. But anyway, Clearpool has originated over 620 million loans with a growing user base. And look at some of these big names. Jane Street. If you guys know about Wall Street, this is one of the biggest powerhouses in Wall Street, right? And so they do the whole trade fi. They do like, you know, institutional borrowing and so on. Let me take you to this next part real quick because I definitely want to hear from Adam in regards to this. So if you go over to Clearpool Finance, what do you see in regards to some of this? Well, you see, for example, earning compounded interest on every block by lending to vetted institutions. Again, vetted institutions. They don't just onboard anybody like a meme coin would basically do, right? More importantly, it's using the platform, how you can earn, et cetera, because when we take you to this next part in regards to Ocean, I'll just call it Ocean, it's the blockchain for RWA yield. And again, like it says, it's coming soon. Lend intelligently, borrow efficiently. The first decentralized credit marketplace. Now, at the beginning of the show, Adam was talking about, for example, Bank Social. I am also into that as well. So all these projects, especially with the low market cap, stand out. But look what it says, 640 million plus loans originated, total value locked, 81,315,000. And again, look at all the credit vaults and dynamic pools. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, you got Mantle, you got Ethereum, Optimism, and look at the average APR on this. I mean, not too shabby to say the least. You got staking over there. I know here in the United States, like, you know, Gensler really, you know, doesn't like that and so on, but things could obviously change. Election coming up on Tuesday. What will happen when we get, like, you know, new things going on after January 20th? And then, you know, for example, new, I don't know, things going on by March. Usually Congress comes back into session. They start doing their things, getting the ball rolling March 2025. But here's the thing. when we talk about putting some of this into motion, these things stand out. So you have treasury pools, you have institutional DeFi, backed by some of these big power players like Arlington Capital, Wintermute, and again, permissionless products. Now, think about this. You guys know me. I cover, for example, quant quite a bit. All right. And I'll show you the example where I'm going with this here in a bit. But I want to share this with you because when you see about the whole thing about permissionless, are you aware that CPOOL is a decentralized finance ecosystem incorporating first ever permissionless marketplace for unsecured institutional liquidity? Now, if you're new to this and you see the term of unsecured, it's like, oh no, it's like Halloween, like, oh no, doom and gloom. That sounds spooky. Keep in mind, driven by market forces and supply and demand, Clearpool's permissionless single borrower pools enable who? Institutions to raise short-term capital while providing DeFi lenders access to risk-adjusted returns based on interest rates derived by market consensus. That's incredible because, again, when we talk about projects that have the institutions involved, this one already does, and it's low market cap. Now, I did give the example in regards to quant. What is quant cite in regards to this? Well, it's what's in store for the future. And this isn't about quant, this is about CPOOL, but look what they posted literally on October 7th. Will banks ever be able to tap into the liquidity of permissionless blockchains? Who is already tapping into that? The answer, everybody, is plain as day, CPOOL. So what is in store for the future? Hey, quant basically saying it for them. Permissionless blockchains are not ready for institutional adoption, but is CPOOL? I think the answer is yes, because CPOOL, basically speaking, is your platform that already has this because they vet some of these VCs. And, so they already have that institutional adoption. The current sentiment towards permissionless blockchains is comparable to the initial response to the internet, which was also considered too much of a risk. But think about this, and I'll come back into the frame for a second. I want you guys to understand that there is so many VCs out there. You know what I mean? Like me, myself, I've dealt with VCs. I met some VCs, especially for my MBA program back in 2016, and then also back when I was doing my bachelor's program in 2015. And, there's a lot of VCs that simply don't have the money, and they don't have the collateral. Clearpool stands out and provides a real utility to fit that need. Okay. Larry Fink says that capital market ecosystems are really going to do something. Clearpool stands out. It's a gem that doesn't get talked about enough. And if anything, what do we see happening lately? The darn thing went from what, Adam? Like 13 cents? Not that even long ago, like a week or two ago. And now it's gone up to what, 23 cents? I'm way up on the profits in it. It's up over 1,000%. And if anything, all these recent news updates, I think they're killing it, and not hardly anybody talks about it. Not enough comments, not enough coverage. I know you're into it. Your thoughts?
I exactly what you said there. I don't know why all this stuff gets slept on. It seems like the projects that are actually doing this stuff at the cutting edge. I wonder if it's NDAs that are the problem, where they can't come out and publicly talk about some of this stuff. So I wonder if it's kind of a legal thing. That's why we don't see much of the hype and stuff around there. You just get a little article here or there, but it's not what you would think for stuff that's this big. And even like, I think the USDX, isn't that the one they're doing with Hex Trust, where you can earn yield on that coin just for holding
Absolutely.
it? Like that's the game changer right there. That is a bank or institution's dream, risk-free yield. And the thing that just cracks me up is we're being told by Gary Gensler that like DeFi, it's full of bad actors. It's too risky for the public to be doing. But institutional DeFi is pretty much now all set up and done. All the banks are using Hex Trust, and they're using MetaMask Institutional, and they're buying NFTs. They're in liquidity pools. They're yield farming. They're doing everything that we can do in DeFi, but yet we're told it's too risky for us. So when I see that, I feel like it's just they need to get everything set up, all their system in place, all their infrastructure built out. Once that's, I think, up and running, that's when retail will be ushered in to kind of chew on the scraps when all the banks are selling you derivatives. You know, come buy JP Morgan chain link. It's the same price, but you know, you can't stake it and earn yield on it. We'll do that, but I think that's where we're going with it. But yeah, man, ClearPool, so bullish on it. And a lot of the coverage that you put out there is it's just spot on. And I don't know when is that point where we see the prices of these assets are actually valued correctly with what's on chain. I mean, these guys are loaning out what $600 million in loans. How is that not into the value of this project at all? You know, when all this debt starts getting issued on chain, when real estate is tokenized and brought on, everything Larry Fink's talking about, when these trillions of dollars of assets move on chain, how does it affect the values? Are we looking at them differently or what? Because once that comes on there, it's not coming off. So you're going to get this rush of liquidity onto these chains that's going to have to bring the price up. I just don't see it ever coming back down again. So we have an incredible, bright time in front of us. Just do your research, find the right stuff, and just hold on to it. That's all you got to do. Crypto can be easy if you make it easy. It can be super stressful if you're trying to chase everything and double your money overnight and roll it back into this project. That's how you get wrecked. I highly recommend not doing that.
Well said, brother. And if you guys are wondering where you can get ClearPool, because let's face it, we can't use KuCoin anymore, MEXC, especially if you're American. There's Kraken, okay, and then if you want to do decentralized exchange, obviously you could do like Uniswap and so on. But that's a standout project, low market cap, with real utility that is being constantly used in motion, as the saying goes. I want to thank you guys. We're going to recognize a few more of you guys. We had some super chats come through. Really appreciate you guys. That's awesome. We've had a pretty awesome crowd here tonight. Like close to 200. Really appreciate that, especially for our brother Adam of VibraFinance. Give him a follow over at VibraFinance on both YouTube and X. I want to recognize this super chat from Henry Brown. Brother Henry says he's so glad we are doing WrestleMania 2 night on Halloween. Thank you, brother. Especially, we are breaking YouTube rules. No curfew tonight. We are being bad and staying up late. Thank you, brother. I always appreciate you, Henry. You rock, man. And anyway, Elon Musk saying hello to everybody. But yeah, thank you for that $5 super chat. Got another one from you. Henry Brown with a $2 super chat. He says Gary Gensler enters the chat. LOL. Oh, jeez, that would be something else, right? Anyway. And then I really, really want to thank this guy. You're familiar with him and so on. This is so kind of you. Thank you so much. $100 super chat. He says Vibra is the man. Thanks for covering Morpheus. And this is from R2R Network. You want to give a shout out to this gentleman, but thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it.
Definitely, man. Yeah, that's my friend Brandon, the one of the founders of Morpheus project that just launched on Titan X, and currently 10 people are going to win 18.2 billion Titan X on the raffle that happens in 11 days. So I'll be very exciting. I hope it's someone that only did like $100 or $200, didn't have much money, and they win life-changing money. I really hope that happens.
We all want to hear those stories. Yeah.
Yeah. So Brandon's a great guy. Follow him on R2R Network. He's super humble, does a lot of macro stuff, and just another good content creator to follow if you want a solid person that's not going to just lie to you and just blow smoke up your ass.
Well, more than appreciate it, Brandon. Welcome to our community. Thank you again. More than appreciate it. Guys, like I've always mentioned, always support these guys in the space that we're in. There's enough to go around for everybody, and follow people that cover solid projects. Not just on the short term. Obviously, Vibra, Adam here covers, for example, the utility ones, the long term plays, the short term plays. You do a little bit of everything, my friend. So that's awesome. And I can't thank you again, Brandon of R2R Network. I was going to say, Adam, if you haven't done so already on your X, make sure you share or post. I'm sure you probably already have. In regards to that raffle, I'll also try to repost it and share it with our community before we get more of the word out.
Definitely appreciate it. I will do. And thanks, Brandon. You're the man.
Yeah, thank you again. Let's see here. Let's read this from Elon Musk. I mean, let's face it, you guys are into some of these type of coins. 25K market cap, Trump Doge. Get at me, dog. This has been 1 million before. That's 40x from here. Let's run. Guys, let's face it. I mean, you know, whether you're for Trump or not, recognize opportunities. There is coins that could get absolutely sent depending on the outcome of the election. So I look at opportunity, whether it's something that I normally don't cover or not. Check that out if you choose to do so. And you know, I believe on that one, I think you know, I think there's also a Solana pairing. I believe also, you know, obviously Ethereum. Check it out if you choose to do so. And let's see here. Starts with Radium. Okay. All right, let's go further down. Godfather J6, welcome, welcome. And let's see here. Bitcoin having a pullback. Elon Trump ET coin. All right. Well, with that said, I think we're about to wrap it up, you guys. I just want to give a plug once again for Adam and his channel. He can be followed, like I said earlier, over on VibraFinance. Here's his channel up on your screen. Let's go ahead and full screen that. So that's at VibraFinance, and he does live shows quite often. You're always collaborating with people. I did tune into that Morpheus Titan X Alpha all day 1 day ago. And you know, you do obviously collaborations not with just men, with women. You have your significant other covering XRP, XLM. So you got a lot of stuff going on your platform. And then on top of that, guys, here is his X. Help him grow as X. And like you see here, I mean, Hacks, Pulse Chain, Sologenic, I've covered that in the past. Adara, Velo, Tomato, right? XRP, XLM, Qubic, Titan X, Stronghold. I got to put out some Stronghold. I got to put out some more. It's just hard to cover everything, but
Yep.
support these brothers in this space. That's what we do, and I'm more than glad to do it. I'll give you the closing comments and so on. There's no pressure on how soon you have to end, brother. I'm humbled to have you here. I've always recognized you. You've been in this chat. You rock, man. I look forward to doing another collaboration in the future, either here or your platform, wherever you choose. And again, guys, I'm telling you flat out, you want to support people in this space, do it. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, do it now. Go over there and support the Vibra, right? Like, just do it already, right? So, Adam, awesome having you here, bro. You're closing. You know, you had the last word.
Man, thanks for having me, bro. It was such a good time. It's like surreal, you know, watching you for years now and finally getting the chance to do this. I really appreciate you taking the time. And you know, I'm just here. You know, I feel like I'm blessed and I'm fortunate that I'm able to do this every day. I get to research crypto. I get to talk to people and nerd out about game theory and all the stuff we talked about tonight. I truly love this stuff. And for other people that don't have that ability to be here 8-10 hours a day learning and researching, that's what I'm here for, to pass along that information, to share what really stands out and what's going to benefit you. And the stuff that I like to shill and share, there's nothing that I get out of it. Like, I truly am here to help people, because I've been here for 5 years. I've seen how hard it was last cycle. If you got hacked or your transaction was stuck on MetaMask, there was nowhere to go. There was nowhere to get help. You were on your own, and that just leads you to scammers and bad places. So I'm here. We're building communities in Titan X, Vibra. We're trying to bring people together to do homesteading, organic farming, building our own food chains and supply chains to not be, you know, relying on the system. So we really want to bring the crypto to real life and make an impact. And I think leading by example is the way to do it. So really looking forward to the future and this bull market and everything that is coming. So appreciate you having me on here. And you know, love to have you on the channel too, and come give some alpha to some of the guys that are stubborn with the utility coins and don't really want to hear it. But when you hear certain stuff, you can't unhear it. And when it comes from the right person who's well spoken, well researched, it just, you take it in differently. So appreciate everything you do, Max. You're one of the best out here, and really thank you.
Right back at you, brother. I really do appreciate that. You guys rock. I hope you guys have a rest of your happy Halloween. Just saw that we ticked up to 200. So you guys, that's really cool for you to tune in and listen to something that I don't normally cover. It speaks volumes. It shows you appreciate myself. You appreciate this community. You support people like Adam and so on. Just a little announcement. I'm going to work on it probably later tonight. So I want to state this. Bank of International Settlements, the central banks, believe it or not, this hardly got any views. So I'm just putting out a disclaimer. On the 26th, these big players met in Washington, D.C. to discuss some things. I watched the entire 3-hour thing for you guys. I'll put a video together. You got to pay attention to this. Elon Musk, Michael Cornwell, hello, paging you, my friend, and everybody else that pays attention to this. One of the things that was brought up was BRICS and what they're going to do. And the central banks basically said, hey, guess what? They addressed that. But there was only one person that addressed it, and that was Augustine Carstens. Yeah, the guy that everybody wants to rag on because he's a heavyset guy. He was the only one that had guts to actually reply. So you want to pay attention to that. It's important. And we'll get into some other key things. So be out on the lookout for that. But God bless you all. Be safe out there. And enjoy some candy, with your kids and so on. So smash it like if you haven't done so already. We'll see you guys on the next one. Adam, if you got like a couple minutes, I'd like to meet you backstage if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. All right, guys. We won't keep you. Have a good one.